082 422. That is the SMS line. And we begin here locally, where Nairobi United are finding the campaign in Africa quite tough after they went down to Azam of Tanzania 2-1 yesterday here in Nairobi. Their third defeat on the bounce. Let's take a look at the goal highlights and how the action went down. And of course, that's highlights of the match that went down at Nyayo National Stadium. Nairobi United, fondly known as Naibois, falling 2-1. And of course, since making their bow in this competition, it has been a rough ride. I'll begin this here. To my far right, good morning, Jacob. Happy New Year.
Good morning to you. Happy New Year. Karibu tena bwana.
Asante sana.
You, I thought you must have been in the city that you like most, that people do not know. But I know it.
Which one is this?
You know, whenever there is Driftwood Sevens, even if there is a presidential event, you better miss it and go to the coast.
Definitely. That's my preferred city.
Yeah, so Karibu tena. We have been here. Yesterday, I distracted myself, of course, with a lot of Australian Open and also Rally Monte Carlo, because I've had visitors mentioning about other issues that were happening. That just passed me, lightly. My concern was what Alcaraz is doing at the Australian Open. But back home, I think Nairobi United tried. But let me say, I was a little bit disappointed because looking at the group and looking at the teams there, I thought that our equal, maybe, or our match, would have been Azam. And of course, also knowing about the rivalry that we have within East Africa, and then I thought that Azam would be a good team that we beat at home before we think about what happens when we go away. Looking at Maniema, looking at Wydad already, the results, it has been a tough one in the group stage. But I'm also looking at the Nairobi United family, what has been happening in the recent past. And of course, a lot of changes have taken place within the last few weeks, within, of course, the squad, within the technical bench. And that one also comes with some impact. Well, I don't want to say that the impact is negative. I want to believe that maybe there are some notes that have not been joined well, that maybe once the fluidity, that maybe the new technical bench part of it and the new players adapt, then we are able to see a better show. But yesterday, I think Azam also fought well, and I would say it was a deserved win, because the moment you are at home and you take lead, then at home, it gives you a very big advantage that you're supposed to ride on, even to the end of the match. But of course, we saw some more of experience, and some fighting spirit from the visitors, which gave them the win that has now left actually Nairobi United down in the table, on the table without any points. Yeah, I was looking at the scores yesterday. Maniema lost to Wydad, and so it means that Wydad have 9 points, Maniema 6. And then Azam with the 3 points they got yesterday, 3 points in the group, it means that now we are just chasing from behind. But I think the best challenge now would be to the coach and the technical bench to react quickly before the return, to make sure that at home they can also show that they can also upset Azam at home.
Steve, borrowing the cue is now Naibois will be heading to Dar es Salaam. And as this here says, 3 matches no victory. Actually, heading to this match, even Azam were winless. But as things stand, Naibois is a rock bottom. Probably having followed that campaign, what do they do differently heading to the return leg? It has been baptism by fire for the team so far.
A very candid response is it's a wrap for them. It has been a good show. The first time at the continental stage, they fought so hard during the preliminaries. They went through to the group stages, which I thought from the momentum they had built, they will give something better in the group stage. But unfortunately, they exposed themselves. What I can say is it's a self-inflicted pain that they should deal with going forward. They should come back home and focus with the Premier League, which is showing also signs that they can also win the Premier League. They are in the FKF Cup. They have a position to defend it. So in my view, a good advice, pack your bags, come back home, prepare for it again, try and do it next season. Because when Nairobi United rose, everyone lifted their head to see where is this team coming from, which is this team that is really rattling the big boys in the Kenyan football, including Gor Mahia, when they beat them 2-1 to lift the FKF Cup. They beat Tusker on their way to the final. And the wrangles began. Typical Kenyan culture in football. Why do you have to eject your winning coach? A question I pose. Why do you have to eject your winning squad? I pose that question. When you win against Gor Mahia, Tusker, and move all the way to Africa, you conquer North Africa, and you enter into the group stage. Why rattle the technical bench? Why rattle the coach? The coach left Nairobi United. I think he got his first win at the Kenya Police, who were struggling by then. And that is the biggest question that I am posing to Nairobi United, a team that was full of hopes. When you look at the colors, they remind me of Mathare United, a team that came from the grass, conquered FC Leopards, conquered Eldoret KCC, then a very formidable force with the likes of Max Sirengo, you remember them. These talents, we really need them for the national team. So when you've put a very good meal in the kitchen and it's on the table to be served, musilete purukushani ya kutaka kuharibu kitoweo mezani. Because that is what exactly is happening at Nairobi United.
And Wakili, I think we sat here last term and actually discussed this at length. And the question you were asking then, how do Naibois go to Africa? I remember posing that question. And you guys they need to beef up. Yeah. Did this come too little, too late? Because even as we speak, we are seeing like 7 new recruits now joining the club. But is it a good move at the wrong time?
Yes, it was a good move, but at the wrong time. I do not know who is the legal advisor, because...
Legal or technical?
No, legal.
Okay.
In terms of interpretation of CAF statutes, because there was always an open window. You are given an open window to reinforce your squad. Anytime you move to the next match or the next stage. So if you're playing the first preliminary, you're moving to the second preliminary, there's an open window for signing, making new acquisitions. If you're moving from the second preliminary to the group stages, again, you're given a window. I think what they did, they waited until the local transfer window was opened, which was opened, or must have been on January 5th. It had been proposed for January 12th, but it was opened on January 5th, and that is now when we saw them attempting to reinforce. They have reinforced the squad with very formidable names. Notably, I know there's Mohajiri from Rwanda. There's Martin Kiza from NEC. He's a Ugandan. He played with Victor Wanyama. Yes, Benson Omala, the Globetrotter, and now you see perhaps the impact may not really be felt at the continental stage. It may be felt locally, but all said and done, there's some positive things about Nairobi United, which is it's very important we mention. For example, number one, the goal scored by Duncan Omala, it was mercurial. It's something which you can speak about continentally. I mean, it's the last time we saw such a goal is when we watched the foreign Premier Leagues. It may not be spoken about so much locally. It was a very good goal. And then secondly, I saw Nairobi United also unveil a sponsor in the name of Sidian Bank. You know, we've not had a lot of corporate sponsors within the league or within the local sites, but the incoming or the onboarding of Sidian Bank is also a very, very good gesture. It should be able to motivate other corporate sponsors to come in so that they can partner as many local sides as they can. Yes.
Ziti, maybe we can shift gears, but I know you'd want to have a word on this.